Clerics are some of the most powerful spellcasters in Dungeons & Dragons, being able to channel the essence of powerful gods like Tempest, god of battles. But what about the deities who had less impressive sounding portfolios, like Lyra, the goddess of joy, or whatever the fuck Dionysus had going on? With this in mind, I've created the Domain of Delight, a cleric subclass for followers of gods who less impact the essence of life itself and work to make life a little bit more worth living. These clerics are less chosen heroes and more wedding officiates, youth pastors, and all-round good Samaritans. The Domain of Delight is a homebrew cleric subclass for low-stakes gods of simple pleasures like joy or agriculture or just common sense. Clerics of this domain are supportive characters, but there's not as strong a focus on direct healing, especially when compared to something like the Life Domain. Like all clerics of this domain get domain spells as they level up, including Purify Food and Drink, Goodberry, Skywrite, Pyrotechnics, Major Image, Fly, Polymorph, Fabricate, Animate Objects, and Seeming. They're whimsical as fuck. Starting at first level, you get two main cleric features, which are Jolly Old Gifts and Helping Hand. Jolly Old Gifts grants you a bonus proficiency in either Persuasion, Performance, or Deception, and lets you learn a cantrip of your choice from the Bard's spell list, which counts as a cleric cantrip for you. Helping Hand is the subclass's main feature, which essentially allows you to roll a Wisdom saving throw instead of Constitution when attempting to maintain concentration on a spell. In addition, you can add 1d4 to that saving throw if the spell is targeting an allied creature. This bonus increases as you get more levels in the cleric class. Essentially, this ability helps you hold on to concentration spells like Bless, a Shield of Faith, or Aura of Life, even when you start getting up to higher levels and motherfuckers start doing 60 damage to you a pop. The domain's Channel Divinity ability is called Burst of Whimsy, which subjects your friends and foes to mirth and tomfoolery, respectively. As an action, you present your holy symbol, like you do with every other Channel Divinity, and every allied creature of your choice within 30 feet of you has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw they make, receiving this benefit only once. Every hostile creature within 30 feet of you must make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the affected creature has disadvantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw they make, receiving this penalty only once. The effects of your Channel Divinity last until the start of your next turn. This feature essentially provides you with a brief window where you can turn the tide of battle in your favor, make a daring escape, or perhaps just survive a little longer than you would have otherwise. At level 6, you get the defensive ability, Divine Interruption. When a creature hits or misses a melee attack roll against you, you can use your reaction to force them to make a Charisma saving throw. On a failed save, the target creature can take no further attack actions or bonus actions on this turn, and its movement speed is reduced to 0. In addition, the creature cannot make opportunity attacks against you until the end of your next turn. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, regaining all uses at the end of a long rest. Divine Interruption stops an enemy creature dead in their tracks and gives you a chance to scuttle away like the coward you are. You're a support, it's allowed. At level 8 you get Potent Spellcasting, which lets you add your Wisdom modifier to the damage you deal with any cleric cantrip, but let's face it, you're gonna take Blessed Strikes from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything because they updated it and it's just better. Your level 17 ability is Divine Presence, which is a big long ability that I have to read in its entirety. Oh, no, I'm somewhere else now. Starting at 17th level, you can store a spell you have prepared inside a closed container, such as a wrapped gift box, a flask, a bag, etc. The spell must have a casting time of 1 action or bonus action, must have a range other than self, and cannot require concentration. If the spell requires material components, they must be stored within the container. As an action, you store your spell in the container. Any creature, including yourself, can open the container as an action and can cast the spell using your spellcasting ability modifier or spell attack bonus if applicable, but is still considered to have cast the spell themselves. Any criteria that needs to be stated during the casting of the spell, such as choosing whether to create or destroy water with the Create or Destroy Water spell, or deciding the celestial spirit summoned by the Summon Celestial spell, must be stated when the spell is stored in the container. Storing a spell in this way expends the spell slot as though you cast the spell normally. If a hostile creature or a creature who doesn't know that the spell is stored inside this container opens it, the spell targets that creature or centers its area of effect on that creature. A creature can make an Insight or Arcana check against your spell save DC to identify that the container is magical, but cannot identify the spell stored inside the container without the use of divination magic. If the spell contains a ranged spell attack roll, the spell does not have disadvantage on the attack roll, even if the container is within 5 feet of the target. The spell is stored within the container for 24 hours, and only one spell can be stored in a container at a time in this way. You may use this feature to store a spell in a container up to 3 times per long rest. Basically, you can store one of your cleric spells in a box and give it to an ally to cast, or for an enemy to unsuspectedly cast upon themselves. For example, you could give a Revivify spell to a member of your party as a contingency in case you die, because the spell lasts for 24 hours, or you can put a Fireball Wait, no, that's not a cleric spell. Or you could leave the Flame Strike spell in a gift-wrapped box, put it on the bad guy's doorstep, and just wait, like a sick, cruel prank. And there you have it, the Domain of Delight. A low-stakes, salt-of-the-earth cleric who just wants to lend a helping hand and make life a little bit more worth living. If this subclass sounds right for you, you can download it now on artofthecat.itch.io, along with some other homebrew stuff that I've built there and talk about in other videos.